welcome to my channel. I'm Kat, and today I'm going to be talking about the benefits of being a stay-at-home wife, even a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to go into a little bit about both of them. I'm doing this because I had a cringe answer to this question when I was asked by Allie from Real Femme Sapien, and sometimes I just think about it, I'm like, I'm such an idiot. Why did I say that? I'm not going to say what I said because it was so stupid. So while I was feeling cringe about that, I was like, well, what are the benefits? Because I just didn't have it off the top of my head. So I didn't know what to say. I'm an idiot about those things. So I came up with 7 benefits that I find are great for being a stay-at-home wife and a mom. So I'm going to share them with you today. If you like that, then stick around. All right, so let's just get into it. The first biggest benefit is, for me, I get to avoid the daily traffic and stress, because for my old job, I personally had to drive an hour and a half to 2 hours just to get to work. It was crazy. And it would have been a 30-minute drive if it wasn't rush hour. Miami traffic is no joke. You do have to kind of use your psychic abilities to dodge cars coming at you from every single direction, because people are crazy here and people will go off the road and people will come at you, and there's constant accidents and cars spitting at you. It's a crazy thing, and people love swerving in and out of lanes. And you have to be on high alert just to drive in Miami. I am very good at it, but it does come at a cost, and that cost is raising your cortisol levels. High cortisol can lead to things like you get shaky and you get anxiety, you can get weight gain, you can get other hormonal problems. You're just stressed, you're more angry, you're more snappy at people when your cortisol is going crazy. So that's how you start your day, right? And when you drive to work, you have an hour and a half to 2 hours, at least I did, for that stress. And then at the end of the day, when you're like, I just want to relax, okay, so the day's over, yay. It's not yay, because it's like, now I have to drive for an hour and a half to 2 hours again in traffic, in the stress, in the same type of stress that's in the morning traffic, because people are just like, I want to get home already. And they're trying to kill each other to get home. Wow. It could be as much as 4 hours a day of mad stress. My finger cut. Anyways, about mad stress, high cortisol. So that is my favorite thing that I don't have to do. Now, if you work from home or you work down the street, this wouldn't apply to you. And lucky you, but not a lot of people are that lucky. Some of us had to drive to work. Anyways, so the next benefit is, if you have kids, or if you even have pets, you get to be home for them. This is a big thing because I have cats and they appreciate that I get to be home and I get to cuddle them. They get to follow me around, see what I'm doing. They get to hang out with me, and they really like that. Now, if you had a dog, I would imagine, because dogs are way more needy and they're way more clingy to their people than cats are. Cats are more independent. So your dog probably really appreciates this. I've seen so many videos of dogs waiting by the door, whimpering when their people leave for work, and it's really sad. So they really need their people too. So if you can be there when you have a pet, that's so awesome to be able to do. And then, of course, if you have a kid and you get to be there home when they get home, and they can rant about what Sally did, what Jimmy did, or whatever, and they're just telling you all their problems, or the teacher said this, or the teacher did this, and you get to hear all the crazy things that are going on in school. What I like to do is, if she's upset about somebody said something mean, I work through it with her. I'm like, okay, so somebody said this. Why are you taking it personally? How can we reframe this, and how can we do better next time when somebody says something like this? How can you respond so it doesn't affect you? But you can go into these conversations, because also my mom couldn't do these things. She was working. She didn't have the time for this type of stuff. So if I came at her with a problem, she was like, enough. I got too much going on. I'm tired. I have to cook in 5 minutes. I have to do this, and then I only have 6 hours to sleep. And she's stressed out, so she's going nuts. So I don't have that. So I get to sit there and listen to her in a very relaxed way, which a lot of moms don't get to do because they have to work. So that's just an amazing benefit. Okay, so the next one is I get to help with emergencies. My dad's elderly. He lives about 5 minutes away. He still works full time, but if he has to go to a doctor or his car breaks down or he needs me to drive him somewhere or if he can't do something with technology because he's older and he doesn't understand it, I get to be able to go and help him during the day and be there for him. And the same thing with my husband. If my husband needs me to run an errand for him or he has an emergency in some sort of way, I can be there and I can go and help him. Whereas if I had a job, if I had some boss, or even if I had my own company, it would kind of fall apart if I dropped everything to like run and help people every single time because it could be too much. The next is I get to learn new things of my choosing whenever I want. One of the things that people like to scare you with is if you are a stay at home wife or you're a stay at home mom, you're not going to have any skills and then he's just going to leave you and then you're going to be all alone and homeless on the streets and blah, blah, blah. Of course, that's not true because we do have spousal support and we do have child support if you have kids. That's just really not a reality. And the other thing is, if you're home, you forget that you get to learn whatever you want while you're home. You have a few hours after you finish cleaning and between cooking and stuff where you can learn. So I learned how to do so many skills. Some of them were photography, wedding planning, event planning, website design, SEO, audio and video editing, blogging, writing. I got to do planted aquariums. I got to learn how to do that. That's like a fun thing that I got to learn how to do. I mean, that could be a job. If anything happens, I could just be like, okay, well, I can make aquariums for people or I can do stuff like that. I know all the process to do all these things. You can learn whatever you want when you're home and you have a few hours to yourself. I mean, obviously not if you have young kids because that's a full time, don't look away type of job. But once they get a little bit older and they finally go to school, now you can learn things for yourself. So if anything happens, God forbid, like I have tons of skills that I can use to make money. There's no gap in the resume that's going to like be a big deal to anyone. Plus, I have degrees and blah, blah, blah. And you can actually get degrees online while you're a stay at home wife or mom. If you get that anxiety and you want to do that, that's an option to you. Then the fifth one is I don't have to pay the incredibly high cost of childcare. They do pay in Florida for VPK. It's like a preschool thing. I think it's 4 years old and up, but it's only until noon. So from 8 a.m. until noon, they pay for it. It's really not that much time. So you're going to want to spend the money if you want them to socialize. And I think preschool is great for socializing. I'm really close to my kid's preschool teacher, even though she's no longer in preschool. And I think it was great. They really help the kids. They do lots of cool events and it's really fun for them. I have friends that work full time. They are doctors, lawyers, PhDs, all these things. And they spend their entire month's take home pay. So like after taxes or whatever is taken out just on childcare because you don't understand what it's like. There's so many teacher planning days in schools. There's so many holidays that a regular working person does not get off. There's just so many events in school, early release days in school. There's just so much that if you don't have somebody there to pick up your kid, you have to pay for a bus to take them to a specific place that is open on those days. And the ones that are open on those days, they're way more expensive than like your regular after school care or daycare type program. They're incredibly expensive. We're talking maybe $2,000 a month per kid. It's insane. So my friend, she's paying this, meaning she's getting no money for years while her kids are young. It's just something you have to think about. Childcare is incredibly expensive. It's completely cost prohibitive in many places. I mean, if you're lucky and you live in a place where it's cheap and they cover like all the school holidays and all the school events and stuff like that, where there's going to be early releases and days off, then good for you. But that's definitely not what we have here. So something to consider. So there's a lot of event during the day in schools. I don't understand them, but all the schools have these events during the day. So if I worked, I would not be able to go, and then my kid would be there, nobody rooting for her on the field day, or when they do their little Halloween parades or whatever they're doing. All these events, I wouldn't be able to go there and cheer her on, or when she's doing some play, and it's during the day, which is crazy. Like, this wasn't the case when I was growing up, but now it is. So they don't do things on the weekends and after school as much as during actual school days. So times are totally different than how I used to grow up. So you have to literally have somebody home. And it's funny, there's so much talk against stay-at-home parents that it's weird that there's no talk about all the things, all the events that you have to do during the day, and how school time ends way before work ends. And then you have to pay for, it's just a lot. There's so many days that you would have to work at a job and that's not covered in school. And then it's illegal to leave your kid home, which this is a thing. It's actually illegal in many states. Like, I think some of them, it's usually around 12 and up, that kid cannot be by itself, even in your own backyard, which is insanity to me, especially growing up Gen X, elder millennial types. We would come home, nobody would be there. We would make our own food, like ramen noodles or spaghetti or cereal. A lot of kids would just get bowls of cereal and that would be their meal. And then they'd watch TV alone, unsupervised, until maybe the nighttime when their parents came home after like driving home in traffic and stuff. So it's crazy. So that is number 5. And number 6 is, if you want to, and you're so health conscious and inclined to, you can get to cook cool, healthy meals from scratch. Now, this is a huge benefit for me because I know about all the processed foods. I'm really into being healthy. I don't even like getting like delivery. I don't like restaurant food all the time because I know they're using the bad oils. I know like the food is bad quality, no matter what they say, no matter how beautiful the restaurant is. You know that it's not going to be the same high quality as if you were the one who researched every single ingredient that comes into your home, which I do like a crazy person because these things matter to me. So I get to do that. My husband doesn't have to worry about that. I get to tell him, okay, so I research, this is the best salmon from this place and blah, blah, blah. And this is where we're going to get it. And it's like really complicated, but I have the time that I get to research all the stuff. I get to watch podcasts. I get to look up research papers on PubMed. I get to find all this information and then make the best decisions possible with that information for my family. And that's a great benefit. Because I just remember growing up, when our parents would get home, they would be so tired and they would be so stressed out that it would just be some prepackaged garbage, like a mix thing where you just add 1 or 2 ingredients and then it's a meal. Or everything's processed, everything has preservatives, everything is it's like concentrated form and just rehydrated or whatever. It wasn't real food. And that was when we started getting really unhealthy because they took the moms out of the home and our meals just became meals that you would make when you're under a lot of stress and pressure. It's like half made, or you use just a microwave, or it's a frozen meal or something garbagey like that. And I also have time that I can research other things for cooking to be healthy, like what pan has like the least amount of VOCs and how to season a cast iron pan, how to do this, how to do like I get to learn those things because I have more time than someone who works full time and they're very focused on their job. And I know this is not obviously fair. Some people have to, but if you don't have to, why go through the stress, the added stress? And my last benefit that I would say would be that you get to be in a better mood when your significant other comes home from a very stressful work day. So whether they're working for themselves or a boss or whatever they're doing, just driving home in traffic can be stressful after a long day. And to know that you are not also stressed and you're not both stressed together, which, growing up, you would see a lot of like parents coming home, everybody's stressed. and they would go for like alcohol, or not my family, thank God, but I would see other families. They would either become alcoholics or they would just go for the junk food just to like de-stress, and there was nobody there to have the healthy meal ready. So you're just gonna go for something to finally feel better because you finally got home and you finally get to make your own decision, and but you're just so tired so you can't make good decisions for yourself. Another thing is I get to be there to be like to my kid, be like, okay, when your dad comes home, let's not bombard him with everything bad that happened to you that day. Let's give him until he's eaten and relaxed a little bit, then you can go and talk to him. And I get to be able to say that because I'm in a more relaxed state where I can explain it to her. I don't have to yell and bark at her about it. Like, don't do that, with no explanation, because I'm so tired. I'm not tired. So I get to say that very calmly and explain it so that she understands better than if somebody's just barking orders. When I was young, it's because I said so. And because I said so was because they were so freaking tired. They worked all day. Everybody was working. Everyone was tired. It's such a different world when somebody is in a good mood. I mean, I wish nobody had to work, to be honest. I wish we got to do our hobbies and our whatever we wanted to do all day and be with our families and be there for each other and the community, but it has to work. And if you have a partner that is willing to do that so that you can stay home, that is an amazing thing, and it should not be frowned upon in society. And it's crazy that it is. It's definitely not servitude. It's the complete opposite, because when I was working, I was definitely serving a job and a boss and a company that did not give a shit about me, and they would be happy to replace me. And if anybody complained in my old job, I remember they would just fire that person or stress them out to the point where they quit so they didn't have to pay for them for unemployment. And then they would hire two people part-time to do that one person's job so they wouldn't have to pay benefits even. I mean, that's just how a company will treat you. So this idea that the boss is going to care about you, or your company, even if you have your own company, that your company is going to care about you more than your family, is really sad and insane. I understand if you have no choice. You just don't make enough with one income. I understand that happens. Or if something happens and you need to step up and have the two incomes. That happens. I mean, that's life. But if you have the choice, I would say stay home if you can. Have somebody stay home. And I think it's time to start shaming people who want to stay home and saying, oh, passive aggressive things. Like women always say things like, oh, that's cool for you, but I just wouldn't want to trust a man like that. It's ridiculous because, okay, I wouldn't want to trust a boss like that. I wouldn't want to trust a industry like that. That it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, life is not guaranteed. Whether you get a boss or you have your own company, you get married, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is going to be perfectly forever, always. Everything is a risk. So I would rather risk it to be home with my family. Now, the other thing is, people want to say, well, you could be abused or tortured or hated or treated like a slave, whatever, by your husband. I'm like, no, what? You get to choose him. That's the greatest thing. Like, women get to choose. So where is the responsibility? And I ignored the red flags. I didn't set standards in the beginning of the relationship for how I wanted to be treated. I didn't have the hard conversations. I, didn't see how he treated his mother or how his father treated his mother. I didn't ask these questions. What about you? Like, everything is a two-way street. So it's not like you just like fell into some guy. There was dating. There's supposed to be a vetting process. It's not supposed to be he looks good or he has money or he's tall or whatever. It's supposed to be, let's think about what we want together, and if we're on the same page. And just choosing the right person is a very involved process. It's not just they look cute and they said yes. Come on. So there has to be personal responsibility. And I understand that sometimes people get tricked or whatever, but you should figure it out in a couple of months. before you have kids, just take 6 months after you get married. And if you see things change wildly, then you can get an annulment. But let's not have all the blame being on the guy, because most guys were exactly the person that they were before the marriage as after. Same with the women. And this goes to the guys too. It's like, oh, I didn't notice. Come on, you noticed. Everybody notices. Let's not blame each other, and let's start saying, okay, sometimes people get tricked, but most of the time people trick themselves. And that's all I have to say about that. And let's stop hating on people who choose to stay home, and stop insinuating that they must have a bad marriage or must be getting abused or whatever, because it makes it really hard for me to feel comfortable to talk to people, because they're always going to say, oh, you don't deserve it, or I bet it's terrible. And if I say, actually, it's great. Actually, it's really fun. Actually, I vetted him properly and we are a good match for each other. So let's stop hating people and let everybody live their life. That's all I have to say about that. And those are my top 7 benefits for being a stay-at-home wife and a mom. And I would love to hear what you think. Just be respectful and let me know your reasons if you have any that you would like to add to my list. Get to the comments and let me know. And please like and share if you want more solo episodes where I'm just talking. And I am getting better at this. Please give me a break. I know I am a rambler. That's just what I am. Anyways, have a great day, guys, and catch you next time.